Hey, welcome back to the Fusion Basics series. This is part of a full series on my channel where we go in 5 minutes or less. I go over something really easy in DaVinci Resolve and just explain it to you. And today we're talking about the node, everything about the node and how it works. To start off, let's take a look at the background node here. And to understand first, every single node is going to have an input that is a triangle and an output that is a square. Every single node is going to have an output. Not every single node may have an input. Sometimes it won't, but most of the time it will. Even a media in node, which has just a mask input, just like the background does here. So we can see if we click on one, just like we talked about in the last video, you can preview your node over here on one of your preview monitors. And if we take the output from this node right here, the background node, and drag it over the name or over this arrow, it'll just drop onto this node and to take the output into the input. We can see the background in this preview because this one is being previewed on monitor 2. We can even see that media out has an output. This means that you can put it through something else and it will do something on the edit page. So let's say that we want to overlay a node onto something else. We can take this text node, for example, we can change, or its color is already white, so it makes it easy. We can take this text, we can take this output and drag it over the output of another node, this background, and it will automatically generate a merge node connecting them in the way that we wanted. We can't see anything over here because our text is empty, so let's just say text or test, and then we can see if we double click into the empty space, it's just composited over. So the merge node does what it says on the tin. It merges something over something else. This is where things get a little bit complicated, because if we look, now we have 3 different inputs and 1 output. Hovering over this blue input, we can see this is the mask input. So if we wanted to mask where this was coming in, we can take the mask and pipe, that's what it's called, pipe the output into the blue input, and we can see it's limited where we can see the text. Drag and drop it over the node itself or over the name, it'll default to whatever input that it wants to go to. So if it's a mask, it's going to by default want to go into the mask input. So the green one is the foreground and the yellow one is the background. No matter what node you are working in, the yellow input is going to be the visible background, going to be the main input for most, if not all nodes. Nearly every node in Fusion is going to have a yellow triangle input and a white square output. If we look over here, we can see the text doesn't have that yellow input because nothing can go into the text to change the view of the text. Besides, if we wanted to take this node and put it into this mask input, and then if we disconnect this, we can see it looks exactly the same. The only difference is if we tried to transform this, which the merge also has transform controls, if we transform this, you can see it is just a circle. So if we take the input directly onto a node, it is going to mask that node specifically. You may be a little bit confused about how to use masks and how to properly mask something sometimes. For example, if we take this text node, resize it back down to default, and if we take a transform node and try to put this into the mask input of this transform and then do a scale, well, what the frick is going on? Why is it only doing something in here? Why isn't it cutting off the outsides? Because it's not masking the visual that's going through it. It's only masking what that node is affecting. So if we look here, anything inside the circle is going to be affected by that transform node. If we disable it, it's all affected now. So that's something important to keep in mind. Since the merge is merging this over this, if we were to mask the merge, it's going to mask where we're merging it. Makes sense? All right, that is just about it for this video. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the complexities of taking outputs from nodes to multiple different nodes and how that can work in your favor in the future. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you then. Man, I am getting more awkward by the day, I think. But I'm making better time. That was only about 10-ish minutes, a little bit less, so that wasn't too bad. I was a little bit worried that I wasn't recording for both of those. I was a little bit concerned, but I'm glad I was. Okay. What's next?